Hello, it's Anne Marie here, and I do have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize for my voice. I hope it's not annoying. I'm here with a card process video today featuring a set of layered stencils that I recently acquired from a small scrapbook.com haul. I had a rough week this week. I had very little time to create, so I decided I would just try a simple card inspired by all the rain that we have had here lately and in some lovely blurple tones. Hi, Billy. And it was just kind of a nice creative interlude at the end of a really busy week. So, first, I pulled out some blue and purple papers. I have kind of a small amount of blue and purple, so my rainbow ones are stored in the same place, which is why you'll see a bunch of those coming out too. But I am focusing on the blue leaning purples and the purple leaning blues today. April just kind of makes me think of that color, which is why it was also on my nails as well. So I really liked the idea of incorporating that blue piece you can see with the raindrops on it, kind of up in the upper right. Since I was using this layered stencil with umbrellas, that seemed very on theme. I also knew I was going to need a B-side or a tone-on-tone paper that was lighter in color to actually stencil the umbrellas onto. So that's why those sort of gessoed looking mixed media background pieces are there. First, I trimmed down my foundational mat for the card. So that's just a typical A2 card size, 4.25 by 5.5 inches. And I wanted a 1/4 inch border on all four sides. So the next layer was 3.75 by 5 inches. Then again, another 1/4 inch on all four sides. So my final piece that I will actually be stenciling onto is 3.25 by 4.5. All right, so I secured the stencil base with a loop of tape underneath it so that I can bleed the design directly off the edges. I also, at this point, decided to test my inks to kind of see what they actually look like when they're applied on this specific paper. I decided to alternate blue and purple umbrellas, and I shifted that color palette over by one on each row. So then I'm just going to layer my stencils to add some patterns to the umbrellas and go in with the next layer of color. So I went with the chipped sapphire. Even though it is a lighter ink than the stonewash, it still provided a nice tone-on-tone effect. I just, made sure to give it a couple layers and I really buffed it in. I used this color on the polka dots. And then the other one on the right, those aren't actually polka dots, they're tiny hearts. Next was Lavender Fields, which I applied to the striped umbrellas. That really provided that blurple kind of color with the layered purple over the blue. And finally, I used a little bit more of the stonewash for the tiny flower patterns on the purple umbrellas to again get some more blurple action going. I love that word, blurple. All right, so I couldn't find my edge distressor, so I used the open blade on my scissors to distress the edges of my mats lightly before I stuck them down. Also, to add a little flair, I sprayed some pearlescent mist. This one is very old. It is from Tattered Angels and it's getting low. So if you know of any replacement or a way to DIY it, to refill it, please drop a comment below because I am on the hunt now for this. I use this all the time because it's just a very quick and easy way to make something sparkle without changing the color. All right, so I found a spring stamp set by a friend of mine that had a rain, rain, go away sentiment. I decided to use my stonewash ink for this because it is the darkest color that I had out. So I just stamped, trimmed, and matted that on the same cardstock that I used for the foundational mat. I wanted to adhere that sentiment with pop dots, but I also wanted to add some jute for texture. So I found that and wrapped that around the umbrella panel first. Next, I used a very old EK Success thumb punch to punch out some raindrops. I thought it would be nice to have some clouds too, so I got out my Fiskars cloud punches. I used my scrap bag, but I also used scraps that were just right there on the table from the papers I was already using, so everything coordinated well. And things to tie it all together, right? It's time for some finishing touches. I just went with some simple, clear rhinestones, kind of my go-to, and they also feel very raindroppy to me. And here are some close-ups. The vellum, jute, rhinestones, and pattern paper that looks, like it's been gessoed and typed on, those give some really beautiful texture, I think, to the finished card. And that's it. All right, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will leave a like or consider subscribing to my channel. I will see you next time, and I hope you have a scrappy, happy week. Bye.